Imagine a future where air combat isn't dominated by just a few multi-billion-dollar jets,
Right.
but instead you've got thousands of low-cost smart drones working together. What if affordability itself, becomes the most powerful tech on the battlefield?
A total shift in strategy.
Exactly. Today we're diving deep into Kratos Defense and Security Solutions, KTOS. They're a mid-tier tech company, San Diego-based, quietly reshaping what next-gen warfare looks like.
Yeah, and our goal here is to really understand Kratos as this disruptive change agent. They truly live by this idea that affordability is a technology.
Affordability is the tech.
It drives everything. They use these agile, almost venture capital style development processes much faster, way cheaper than the big guys.
Okay, let's unpack that. This whole affordability as technology thing, Kratos wasn't even born a defense company, were they?
Not at all. They started as Wireless Facilities Incorporated, WFI, totally focused on commercial telecom.
Telecom towers to, well, drones. How did that happen?
It was a very deliberate pivot. CEO Eric DeMarco, he steered the company towards U.S. government work, picking up key capabilities through acquisitions.
Like what?
Like integral systems. That brought in serious satellite data capabilities, became the core of their space and satellite communications division.
Okay.
And get this, their open space platform. It now supports over 85% of U.S. space missions. It's software replacing bulky, expensive hardware.
85%. Wow. Okay, so space comms, that's one piece. But where does the hardware, the affordability and things come in?
Right. This is really interesting. They also bought companies like Florida Turbine Technologies and Technical Directions, Inc. It gave them the in-house ability to design and build their own small jet engines, affordable ones.
So they control the propulsion. That's key.
Absolutely key to making things cheap and good.
Yeah.
That vertical integration, it fuels their big push into unmanned systems.
Which brings us to things like the Valkyrie drone, right? The XQ-58A.
Exactly. That's their flagship attritable aircraft. Stealthy, low cost.
And attritable basically means you can afford to lose some. It's not like losing $1 billion fighter jet.
Precisely. It opens up tactics like swarming or being decoys, things you'd never do with expensive manned aircraft. It acts as a loyal wingman.
Flying alongside piloted jets, doing risky jobs, extending sensors, AI-powered teammates, essentially.
Yeah. So with tech like Valkyrie showing their approach works, what does this mean for Kratos? Strategically, where do they fit?
Well, it looks like they're positioned almost perfectly. The whole defense world is shifting hard towards unmanned systems. That sector's growing like crazy, 15-17% a year.
Huge growth.
And then there's the new space race, also double-digit growth. Kratos is playing right in the hot spots.
And their competitive advantage, their moat, it seems to be more than just patents, though they have over 160 of those.
Right, and they're deeply embedded, like with that 85% space mission support.
But it's also that development model we talked about, being agile like a tech firm, that lets them innovate much faster. The question is, can they really scale that disruption against the giants?
That is the big question. Looking ahead, the opportunities are massive, aren't they? A big production contract for Valkyrie, maybe for the Pentagon's CCA program.
Collaborative combat aircraft, that would be transformative, absolutely. The Marines are already funding Valkyrie integration.
But can they scale? Can they build enough fast enough?
That's the challenge. They are the prime on that big hypersonics contract, the MACH-TB 2.0. It's $1.45 billion.
But they're building the test infrastructure there, not the missiles themselves, right?
Correct. Supporting the whole industry. And they're also looking to be a merchant supplier for those cheap jet engines, scaling up production potentially to thousands.
Okay, so operationally they're gearing up. What about financially? It sounds like a growth play.
Definitely a growth story. They've historically plowed money into R&D, sacrificing near-term profits, you could say.
Investing for the long haul.
Yeah. And that recent stock offering, about $575 million, that gives them a huge chunk of capital to fund growth, scale up manufacturing. They talk about a record $12.6 billion pipeline.
$12.6 billion in potential contracts. But obviously there's execution risk. Scaling is hard. And competition from the huge defense primes is intense.
No doubt. It presents like a high-growth, maybe higher-risk, tech-forward company. More like a VC bet than your traditional defense stock,
Makes sense.
Future success really hinges on turning those key programs like Valkyrie, like the engine supply, into actual large-scale production wins.
So the Kratos story is really one of deliberate transformation, positioning themselves right where modern warfare is shifting, all built on that disruptive idea.
Affordability is a technology.
Affordability is a technology. As you think about Kratos, maybe consider this. If that philosophy truly takes hold, if low-cost, attritable systems become widespread, how might that fundamentally reshape conflict itself and even global power dynamics in the years ahead?